says that I give off golden retriever vibes.
Oh, boy!
But now I'm ready to really show who Joey is. I'm excited for it.
All right, we're going to go back to the east position on the compass of love. And in season 8 in Minnesota, we have Joey, who could not be more east. He's so similar to Shayne in season 2, it's not even funny. But I have to say, Joey is more mature in that he's realized, he's self-aware, and he is able to navigate his eastness in a way that's very mature, which is why Monica, who's also east, is attracted to him.
So true. My biggest thing is I love dancing. It could be any song that's playing in the bar, and I'll just like grab one of my friends.
So let's follow along on this story of Joey and Monica, and how these east are attracted to each other. But I do not see this happening. I've never seen two east get married and make it.
Like these weird ass shirts. Yeah. And I like got there and I'll never forget it. I'm like, what am I wearing?
East have a tendency towards being extremely quirky in their dress because they love expressing themselves, and their dress is a way to express themselves.
I chose to decline the D1 offers and stay at home, go to college nearby.
Well, that had to be a really tough decision for him. But he's so east that he will sacrifice his needs, his wants for others, for his family. And especially in this situation, sounds like his sister was pretty sick and needed a lot of attention, and his parents were getting divorced. So he decided, I'm going to sacrifice myself, not take the D1 offers, and stay close to home.
Because of my parents' divorce. Yeah. And I had to help my mom and help my younger sister.
Yeah. Wow, so he's so dedicated to his family and, helping kind of curb the chaos, which is interesting. Often East in these situations will run away from it, but he decided to sacrifice himself instead, which is why who doesn't love Joey? He's so kind and sweet and has learned to navigate himself in a way that's very attractive. He is just, like he said, a golden retriever.
Once you meet my mom, this will make more sense to you.
Okay.
She's smart, but she's very naive and terrible with money.
How are you with money?
Very, very good.
Okay.
So this is a clue about his mom, who sounds East as well. Not that all Easts are terrible with money. He sounds like he's good with money because he's learned from his mom that he needs to be more responsible with money. But as he said, she's smart, but she's erratic. She's kind of all over the place. This is an interesting clue about he and his family and what sounds like an East mother.
I've never had this experience before. I have a lot of personality, and someone that matches me on that is sometimes a little more difficult to find.
So this is interesting. He's obviously self-aware, like I've said. He knows that he has a huge personality, and because West are attracted to him, it's probably been hard for him to find somebody that at least can rise up to his energy. And he thinks in Monica he's kind of found that, and he has. The issue is that Monica is just as East as he is, just in a little bit different way, a little bit different variation of it. This is really interesting.
Would you get engaged with me?
Love has surely shifted my way.
Yeah. I don't know how many dates they went on, but they were the first couple to jump in from the get-go, and they think they found the connection because they're so similar. And what's funny about this couple is that they do kind of mesh well together.
When Monica and I are together, I feel very comfortable, being myself.
So he's comfortable being himself because he's found somebody who he believes is like himself, and she is. So he's probably never felt comfortable before with West, who can be pretty critical of probably his outgoing, very exciting and full of energy personality, which they're attracted to at first, but I think he suggested this, is he's been a lot.
Oh, Monica!
So look at the energy in these two. I mean, he's like, "Hi, Monica," and she can hardly contain herself that she's, up and down all over the place. And this is just a fascinating meeting between these two because there's so much energy, there's so much excitement, there's so much going on. They can hardly stand it.
For you.
Now, what's interesting about this is like they don't even like he's so excited and she's so excited that they almost don't know what to do with each other, and they're laughing constantly.
You're like here.
I know.
And your shirt
We've been
is
sitting. I'm Hawaiian.
You look like Tarzan.
This is funny because I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, he looks like Tarzan. Oh my gosh. I'm just absolutely fascinated by this couple. I think they're so cute together, and I've never seen two East together. This is really funny.
Like slick to the side, like
Yeah.
it's short.
Do you like the short size?
But I want to grow it out so I can donate it. So I want to get it to like 18 inches so then I can donate it.
So East are accused of being overly positive and giving. And so their whole life, well, much of their life is about how can I help others? How can I sacrifice myself for others and give to others and help set them free so that I can be free? And this is just one of those clues. Like his whole sweet personality is about giving. And you can tell that his life, his family life has been very tumultuous, very chaotic. And so he's trying to figure out how he can live within himself and give to others. And man, what a sweet guy.
You've like wondered, and then all of a sudden it happens, and it's just like an explosion of all like senses.
What's fun about East is they're so willing to just put it out there, tell you what they think, just an explosion of senses, literally. And they're not afraid to give you all the information and their feelings about what's going on for them. So I imagine for him and for her, this really was, as you can see, an explosion of senses.
Bye, Joey.
Bye, Monica.
Oh my gosh, like everything, so much about it, East, is this exaggerated form of life. And you can just see it the way he waves, the way she yells. I mean, they are like two little kids.
Favorite moments when I was like, okay, this girl's pretty cool.
Either it was gonna hit or it was gonna miss.
Yeah, and that's how I feel about this couple. They're either gonna hit or they're gonna miss. And so far, they seem to be great together. How do you argue with these two? They're adorable.
Jump in.
Jump in. Okay. So,
All right.
do you snore?
Jump in. She's okay. Like, so much energy. And I'm just wondering, is it gonna burn out?
We'll tell you. I don't know why we didn't cover this in the pods. Are you a morning person? That's so.
I mean, do you feel her exaggeration in the pods? And he's just like, whoa, is this gonna be too much? I wonder if in this situation, because they're both East and they're both so concerned about projecting sincerity that they're kind of missing that they're both a lot. But he's so mature that's probably what's keeping this in check, like in this kind of nice bubble.
Like a way to control something that, like, because my life was like very chaotic, that it was like, okay.
So what's interesting about East is that they do have a lot of energy and they're all over the place, and his mind is constantly going. And so he had some OCD type of issues because there was so much chaos in his life with his mom and his dad that he couldn't figure out a way to balance that and stay in like some form of sanity. So he started counting things. And because his brain is always working, he needed to figure out a way to make that work. And unfortunately, that can go spiral in a completely different way, and it sounds like it did. But now he's learned to cope with it. And what a mature way to figure out how to regulate yourself.
It always got worse, like when something happened. So like if my sister went into the hospital, or if like there was some type of added stressor.
So you just let your mind kind of just like spin.
That's basically the best way of putting it.
Like,
Yeah, literally, like his mind just spins. And so he had to figure out a way to control that in a way that worked for him.
Firstly, we're like, oh, maybe we should get you on like medication. But I was like, no, I want to like try to do this on my own first and see if I can like overcome it.
yeah.
So East love a good challenge. They are ultra competitive. And so for him, this was like, no, I really want to take on this challenge by myself and figure out if I can understand myself and navigate life without medication.
So with our house, we have no shame. We turn on some really crazy music, and we all get like
An instrument.
You gotta get out, Monica.
No, I am mortified. I'm mortified.
Okay, here's a great clue from the mom who's definitely East. She's like, we have no shame. I'm ready to put it all out there like an East would. And what's interesting about this is you'd think Monica would be into it, but East can get very embarrassed. Of course, Joey's like, Monica, you got to get into this. This is fun. This is just such a fun family clue dynamic. And I'm almost positive that the father is West and the sister is definitely West.
Looks like it works. It works well for them, and it's I like it because it's like kind of like a quirky thing, and I like quirky things about families.
So he has a funny thing about order, which you wouldn't necessarily think that East do, but they do if that's how they're raised. And I imagine he probably had a West father that instilled that kind of order in his life and the way he thinks. And so there's this whole funny sock drawer thing, like sock bins. He's like, no, you don't do that. But he likes quirky things about families. He likes quirky things because he's a quirky guy in such a fun and interesting way.
That's why, like, I want you guys to talk, like, one-on-one.
So for East, the way that they resolve things, the way that they think, the way that they learn is through talking. So this is a huge clue for Monica because for her, the way you get to answers is through talking about it one-on-one. And another clue about East, Monica.
Yeah, I talked to her. I think you guys gotta talk to her.
No, I know. We will. Trust me.
So of course he's willing to talk to her. He's mature. He's like, I don't understand what I did, but I'm willing to talk about it. And he's like, you guys need to talk about it. So again, East, talking through things is the way they see how to navigate and resolve issues. They talk through it.
Okay, stand next to each other. Okay, on the count of 3, I want to see your best dance move.
So Joey's in a situation now where he's with the sister who's a West, who's critical and protective of her sister. And he kind of, you can tell he's a little bit reserved, but at the same time, he can hardly help himself. So he just jumps into it.
Energy levels? Like, you have a ton of energy. I love that for you. I love that for you.
So again, the first time that she meets Joey, she recognizes, the sister does, that he has a lot of energy. And I think she knows the same about her sister. Now she says they're kind of nappers, but she's a napper, and because she's the oldest, she's been able to kind of control her sister in a little bit way. And that's really the issue here, is that she feels like she should be in control. She's the oldest. She should get married first. And Joey was right. There is a little bit of jealousy here, but she comes around.
Yeah, I can't help but be protective of you.
But also, like,
And it comes off harsh sometimes.
I know, but like,
Yes, the West is on defense like the South, and she's protecting the younger sister, and yes, it can come off as harsh in a different way than a North that's like a very black and white kind of truth-telling. A West is a critical, kind of condescending nature.
That hurts.
Wow, just so much wow with these two. I mean, his outfit, his hat, he wants to be unique, and he does it in a way that he expresses himself with a lot of energy, with unique clothing, with a unique personality. He is adorable.
I'm such a person that lives in a moment.
Yeah,
and
like,
like
spontaneous.
Yes, and I
Now
love
she
like
is
each
shoot-
moment.
So here he is. I think these are his brothers. One of them is his brother, I think. And he recognizes, look, I live in the moment. That's what I live for. He knows that about himself. And his friend and his brother are like, yeah, you're super spontaneous. That's who you are. That is his human nature. That is how he was born into this world. And it is lovely.
And one thing that I've known about you and your history shows this is that you're willing to drop anything and everything for the people you love and care about.
Yep.
Yeah, he's proved it over and over that he is willing to sacrifice and give himself to people, take the shirt off his back. Like, he will do anything for everybody else. And I think with this show, I imagine why he went on the show is eventually he's like, you know what, I'm 30 some years old. I really want to do something for me. And that was the choice, I imagine, that brought him to this show.
And you just have a really good way of just like, nope, just stay in the moment and have fun right now and don't worry about it. Like, that will come.
So this is a great clue about Joey, is like, he's mature enough to help her, who's probably not as emotionally mature as he is. Like, live in the moment, be here now. Don't spiral out of control. And so he's learned to do that in his life, and he's teaching her that as well, because he recognizes that she's very similar to him.
It's interesting because people would probably think like, oh, he's like just this goofy guy that doesn't have any depth to him. Mm-hmm. But you learned the depth side of me.
So many East, because they're so energetic, so outgoing, so funny, I think several stand-up comics are East. They're always this big personality, and they don't realize that there's a whole nother layer to Easts. And because of that, they are prone to addictive type of issues with alcohol or drugs or whatever it may be, OCD type of behaviors. So this is really an interesting clue about Joey, is that he recognizes this about himself. And it's kind of something that he wants to project, like, I am fun and interesting, but I'm also very smart. And that's where that self-responsibility really kicks in for Easts, in that they know that they have that energy, but self-awareness helps them see that they also need to take the opposite side and be partly, that West personality, which is really interesting. We fill in the void on the other side on the opposite side of us, because we know that we don't necessarily have it innately. Okay, so that is an East in the nutshell, 2 Easts in a nutshell. And in Joey, I really just commend his ability to recognize his self-awareness and his ability to navigate that without knowing that this is just innately part of who he is. So he kind of fills in both sides of the East and West, but he's clearly born into the East position. And you'll find this with very mature people. Unlike Shayne, who I love from season 2, and I think he's figuring that out slowly. So that was just such a great example of a mature East, a real guy, really trying to be an upfront, honest, genuine person in this game, this thing called Love is Blind. All right, you can go get my book on Amazon, an ebook version, paperback, and Audible. You can go get the Cliff Notes on my website, fourcrosslove.com. See you next time.